Good afternoon and welcome to the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. Welcome to the bell ringing event here to celebrate the European Commission joining the European repo market at Deutsche Börse's Eurex. On behalf of Deutsche Börse, I would like to welcome everybody here watching this live stream. The event will start here in a few minutes behind me on the trading floor. As you might be able to see, the trading floor is already branded in the colors of the European Commission and of Eurex. Before the event kicks off, let me give you a brief update on the agenda. At 5:30, we will see the ringing of the stock exchange bell to mark the closing of Xetra trading here today at the Frankfurt Stock Exchange and to celebrate European Commission becoming a market participant at Eurex Repo. The bell ringing will be preceded by 3 speeches. First, a welcome speech by Erik Müller, CEO of Eurex Clearing AG, followed by a speech by Commissioner Hahn of the European Commission, followed by a speech of Joachim Nagel, the President of Deutsche Bundesbank. And before the event starts on the trading floor, we have some minutes time to dive a little bit deeper into the topic why we celebrate here today this closing bell event. And to give us more details and more insight about this, I would like to welcome here Matthias Graulich, member of the Executive Board of Eurex. Thank you for taking the time coming up here and giving us some insights in today's event.
Thanks, Max. It's a great pleasure to be here today, and I'm looking forward for an interesting event.
Thanks for coming up here. And Matthias, the European Commission has announced that it has joined Eurex to trade and clear its repo products here. Maybe give us a short explanation. What is a repo or repurchase agreement?
Yeah, so a repo or a repurchase agreement is an agreement between a buyer and a seller to sell securities against cash at a future point in time, buy it back against the cash. So this is like a loan or a financing activity where the bond serves as the security to make sure that if the person who took the loan is, for example, defaulting, then there is a protection element via the security, which is held then by the lender of the money. Repurchase agreements generally are very important to the financial market, and in particular relevant, for example, for central banks, because it's important for their money supply and for management of the short-term interest rates. And large lenders like the European Commission or large issuers like the European Commission are participating in these repo markets to support their primary dealers, to help with providing a liquid ecosystem in this underlying bond by making bonds available to these primary market dealers.
And why is it so special that the EU Commission is now joining Eurex for its repo business?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's a great honor to have the European Commission as a client and as a partner, because you need partners to develop these ecosystems. And that is important to add to the diversity of our participant base. So, for example, we have 160 participants, very diverse set, small banks, large banks, medium-sized banks, pension funds, insurance firms, issuers like supranational organizations, like national debt management offices or central banks. And to have this ecosystem is very, very important to build a liquid market, because you have at the end a great balance between supply on the one hand and demand on the other hand.
And everyone is talking about this new unified funding approach. Can you give us an explanation about this?
Yes, the unified funding approach has been decided end of 2022 by the Commission. And before this decision, the European Commission issued bonds for each program. For example, Next Generation EU bonds was one of the programs. But in order to build a sustainable ecosystem, it was decided to go for a unified funding approach and then allocate the money you receive via the bond issuance to specific programs, but that you trade it as one product rather than as multiple product segments.
And what does this onboarding now by the European Commission mean for Eurex?
I think there are a number of aspects to it. One is it emphasizes the importance of the Eurex repo segment for the industry. As I said, very diverse set of participants, very active trading and CCP clearing in this market, and that the EU Commission has chosen Eurex as the first partner for this venture, building out and building a repo facility for their own bonds. This is very important and signals the importance. And for me, one thing is very clear: the relevance of EU bonds will further increase going forward, and the size will continue to increase. We are now at 560 billion outstanding, 400 billion are in this unified funding approach. And in order to have a sustainable market, you need to build an ecosystem, a functioning ecosystem where multiple instruments which are important for the underlying bond are playing together, like repos on the one hand, but also derivatives as an important instrument in this ecosystem.
And just diving deeper into this topic, what do you mean by this healthy ecosystem approach?
So I alluded to it briefly. So you have the bond issuance activity, and then you have the secondary market trading of this bond. And in order to build a liquid secondary market, you need to flank this by other instruments, by other activities, like a repo market where you can make bonds available, where the EU Commission can make these bonds to the market, to primary dealers available. And secondly, important is also the derivatives market, that you can manage the interest rate risk, for example, on these bonds. And this is what we are seeing now as an important second step for the EU Commission to establish exactly this repo facility to facilitate the liquidity or the further build-up of liquidity in the secondary market of the underlying bonds.
Well, thank you very much, first of all, for these insights. We will continue our talk later after the official part of the event. And now we will take a look at the trading floor, because I think in the background we see that the guests have already arrived here on the trading floor, which we can see here again branded in European Commission and Eurex. Here in the center we see the DAX chart. Currently the DAX index almost unchanged compared to yesterday, down 0.1%. And we see now the guests making their way onto the trading floor and waiting for the official part of the evening to start. The event will start with a short intro video, followed by a short welcome by Caroline von Linsingen from Deutsche Börse. And while we are waiting here, maybe a few remarks about this trading floor. The trading floor is located in the historic stock exchange building in downtown Frankfurt, which was opened in 1879. And as you can see, the trading floor has been remodeled several times over the past decades. The current design you can see here is from 2006-2007. And now we see here the guests are waiting the event to start. always a nice opportunity for everybody to have a chance to get on the trading floor and witness an event like this. And now we see here in the foreground Commissioner Hahn here in the center. Here on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side is Erik Müller, and now in the center we have from Deutsche Bundesbank Siegfried Ruhl, or class advisor to the European Commission, and on the right side of him is Burkhard Balz, member of the executive board of Deutsche Bundesbank. And now we're waiting for the intro video to start.
All eyes are on Frankfurt today as Deutsche Börse shines its big spotlight on another exciting stakeholder.
Working towards this moment is one thing, but for senior management to be here today is a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
And this was the intro video marking the official start here of this closing bell ceremony. And now we're waiting for Caroline von Linsingen to give a short introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and a very warm welcome to this momentous occasion for Eurex at our trading floor in Frankfurt. Today we gather to mark a significant milestone as we celebrate the European Commission joining Eurex repo with the launch of the EU repo facility. This event underscores the deepening of the EU debt market and the strengthening of its infrastructure. Our agenda today begins with the signing of the prestigious Deutsche Börse guestbook. Following that, we will have the official welcome speech by Erik Müller, CEO of Eurex Clearing. We are also very honored to hear from EU Budget Commissioner Johannes Hahn and Bundesbank President Joachim Nagel, who will share their insights on this pivotal development. Finally, we'll conclude with the iconic ringing of the exchange bell as global symbol of success, marking the start of this exciting new chapter. Thank you for joining us. Let's begin the ceremony.
And now we will see the signing of the signing book here. Already signing Johannes Hahn, European Commissioner for Budget and Administration of the European Commission. And he's followed by the President of the Deutsche Bundesbank, Joachim Nagel. The European Commission has already placed the dedication this afternoon, and now signing will be Siegfried Ruhl, or class advisor to the European Commission. And last but not least, Burkhard Balz, member of the Executive Board of Deutsche Bundesbank. Always a great opportunity for all companies or institutions that celebrate the bell ringing here on the trading floor to enter a dedication here. And now we start with the speech of by Erik Müller.
European Commissioner Dr. Johannes Hahn, dear Bundesbank President Dr. Joachim Nagel, dear member of the Bundesbank Executive Board Burkhard Balz, dear Dr. Thomas Burg, member of the Executive Board of Deutsche Börse, dear Bundesbank, dear European Commission representatives, dear ladies and gentlemen, and dear colleagues. I am delighted and honored to welcome the European Commission today as a market participant to Eurex repo. And I would like to thank Deutsche Bundesbank and the team of Burkhard Balz in particular for their support as a general clearing member in this important European endeavor. At this occasion, I would also like to thank my colleagues at Eurex as well as my colleagues at Clearstream, part of Deutsche Börse Group, for their efforts and great collaboration during the onboarding of the European Commission by opening up the accounts at Deutsche Bundesbank for cash and collateral settlements. The European Commission's decision to take this step not only highlights the determination to build a liquid EU government bond market segment, but also sends a powerful signal about the sovereignty and strength of the EU to international capital markets. I've got three short observations for you today. First, the European Commission is one of the largest bond issuers in the EU, and their high-quality bonds add depth and liquidity to the EU's capital markets. They also serve as an EU safe asset. I'm proud that the European Commission has chosen Eurex as its partner to build the foundation for a liquid trading and clearing ecosystem for EU government bonds. We at Eurex have been actively working to contribute to the EU's autonomy and financial stability agenda for many years by developing market-driven solutions for euro-denominated derivatives markets, thereby supporting the larger EU's objectives. Second, Eurex and Eurex Clearing's fixed income strategy is all about being the home of the euro. The euro-focused cross-product strategy of Eurex is a key element in building efficient and liquid markets, bringing together bonds, repos, and derivatives across OTC and exchange traded and the entire euro yield curve. We already support the German government bonds ecosystem through our integrated environment for swaps, futures, and repos. It reduces costs for market participants, and it increases the attractiveness of those instruments to foreign investors. Reducing funding costs directly translates into a lower burden for EU taxpayers. We have created similar ecosystems for French and Italian government bonds. With today's launch of the European Commission's membership, we are delighted to embark on a same and similar journey for EU bonds together with the European Commission and together with Bundesbank. The participation in repo trading will be an important step to enhance the liquidity of EU secondary markets, and Eurex stands ready, of course, to further deepen the relationship with the European Commission over time. Thirdly and lastly, Eurex and Eurex Clearing serve as an anchor of stability in global capital markets. Crisis events like the global financial crisis, Brexit, the COVID pandemic, or the outbreak of the unfortunate war in Ukraine and the Middle East have proven and underlined that CCPs act as firewalls in financial markets, helping to safeguard financial stability. Notably, Eurex has been praised for setting the gold standard for CCP risk management. Against this background, EU CCPs like Eurex are best suited to take on more responsibility also in asset classes such as repo, where there are no clearing mandates in the EU, unlike the US. In this context, the participation of the European Commission in repo markets not only is a major milestone for the EU capital markets, but also a landmark for Eurex. We strongly believe that the repo business will continue to grow, contributing significantly to Eurex, home of the Euro yield curve strategy. So let me summarize what I promised to be only 3 short messages. First, we at Deutsche Börse, Clearstream and Eurex are proud to assist Europe in building a deep and liquid market for the EU's safe asset. Second, Eurex will be a highly motivated partner for the EU and has a proven track record for building deep and liquid markets around government bond instruments. And thirdly and lastly, CCPs such as Eurex Clearing serve as neutral risk managers and provide the firewalls for the global financial system. We keep markets safe when the sea gets rough. With this, I'd like to welcome officially the European Commission, and we of course would also like to welcome Deutsche Bundesbank. And dear Commissioner Hahn, the floor is yours now.
To make a long story short, I wholeheartedly welcome to all celebrities, meaning to all of you. Thank you for joining us. In particular, I would like to welcome dear friends of EU bonds and the European capital markets. I'm, like all the others, very delighted to ring in a new chapter of the Union bond market. Today, the European Commission launched its repo facility, and there is no better place, really, there is no better place to celebrate this than the floor here at the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. And I would like to thank the Deutsche Börse and Eurex for organizing this fantastic event. Eurex Repo, the leading European platform for the execution of repo trades, Deutsche Bundesbank and the European Commission are entering into a new partnership today. This is an excellent example of the cooperation between national and European institutions and, of course, the private sector. To the benefit of the European citizens, our activities in capital markets contribute to a greener, more digital and more resilient economy. Our common efforts are also good news for the primary dealers and investors. The repo facility will strengthen the ecosystem of EU bonds and, as a result, the European capital markets. I'm proud to say that the repo facility is an important milestone towards becoming a sovereign-style issuer. You're all welcome to support these efforts. Forget about the so-called old continent. Europe can be aspirational, dynamic, and continuously developing, sometimes even in record time. In just 5 years, the Union presence in the capital market has undergone literally seismic change. The pandemic was a turning point for us, converting the crisis into an opportunity to invest in the future. When we started doing this, the Union's total debt outstanding stood at only 50 billion euro. Today, it has surpassed the €500 billion mark, more than 10 times as much. Our EU bonds have earned the unique label SSS. Of course, also AAA, but SSS means it's an outstanding combination of being safe, sustainable, and successful. The investor base for EU syndicated bonds has grown to more than 1,800 investors across more than 70 countries. SSS also symbolizes the Union's role as a stability anchor, not only politically, but also for the markets. In a volatile global environment, liquid and safe collateral EU bonds increase the pool for safe euro-denominated assets offer an opportunity to diversify risks and boost the euro's international role as a side effect. At the heart of it all is Frankfurt. Frankfurt is the financial hub of Europe, and therefore we are here. It's very logical. Today, Frankfurt is still one of the leading financial centers beyond Europe. In fact, the Finanzplatz Frankfurt embodies Europe's ability to continually reinvent itself, ensuring it remains the ideal place for future investments. As Warren Buffett noted, I quote, "The investor of today doesn't profit from yesterday's growth, and the future begins here in Frankfurt." So we look forward to contributing to this legacy with our EU bonds and to celebrate this by ringing the bell today, together. And with this, I would like to pass the floor to President Joachim Nagel to literally fix everything what is necessary. Thank you very much.
So, thank you very much for your kind words, Commissioner Hahn. So many nice things have been said already about this excellent event today, but not from my side. So I need another, let me say, 4 or 5 minutes to give you a little bit my takeaway from the Bundesbank perspective. So, Mr. Müller, Commissioner Hahn, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure to be here today to celebrate the European Commission joining the European repo market at Deutsche Börse Eurex. This is a significant milestone, and I'm happy to share this moment with all of you. The Bundesbank will act as a general clearing member for the Commission. Having provided similar services to several other public entities for many years, the Bundesbank brings experience to the table. With this robust track record, we are happy to provide our services to the Commission. And I can assure you that you are in really good hands. Eurex already supports a wide range of repo transactions and is a major player in Europe's financial landscape. Since 2021, the Commission has been issuing bonds under the temporary Next Generation EU program, and this will continue until 2028. Maybe a little bit more than 2028, we will see. But okay, this is not for the press. In total, bonds worth close to 800 billion will ultimately be issued. The European Union is therefore set to become an important player in the Eurobond market for some time to come. The repo facility introduced today will significantly enhance liquidity in the secondary market for these bonds. Ladies and gentlemen, today's event not only highlights the attractiveness of Frankfurt as a financial hub, and Commissioner Hahn, this was very nice what you said about Frankfurt. Frankfurt is really the financial hub, the capital of the European Union when we are talking about financial services. So thank you very much for your kind words. It also helps strengthening it further. This is particularly important as much investment will be needed in the areas of digitalization and decarbonization in the future. Of course, bank loans will likely continue to play a vital role in financing these investments. But there's also substantial potential for more financing through capital markets. And now everyone knows when I'm talking about capital markets, what is coming next. As many of you probably already know, I've long been an advocate of greater integration of European capital markets. I firmly believe that advancing the capital markets union is essential, particularly in the areas of securitization, insolvency laws, and venture capital. For now, I'm looking forward to implementing our newly here established partnership to the benefits it will bring to our financial system. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
And that was Joachim Nagel, the president of Deutsche Bundesbank. And now we wait for the ringing of the closing bell here at 5:30. Always great pictures, always a great moment, ringing off the stock exchange bell here on the trading floor of the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. And now, of course, the opportunity to take photos here to commemorate this event here on the trading floor. The guests will now slowly start making their way up on the balcony above the DAX chart. And while we are waiting for this, we can continue our conversation from earlier, Matthias. You were mentioning this healthy ecosystem. Can you explain to the viewers why this is so important?
Yeah, I guess the healthy ecosystem is very important because there are different products which belong to this ecosystem. The underlying bond, the repo, the derivative. And only if you bring this together, you can realize efficiencies from a risk management perspective, because you need, for example, you need to post margin for a certain transaction. And if you look at this not as isolated products, but as a product bundle, you suddenly realize efficiencies. And this is what we do at Eurex. We bring this from a risk management perspective together, the bond, the repo, and the derivative. And this at the end helps, if this is a very efficient system, that the liquidity in the underlying bond gets further improved.
And you also did mention the EU Commission as a partner. Could you elaborate a little bit on this?
Yeah, I think what is important is if you want to build a liquid ecosystem, we act as a partner to the Commission to help them for their own bonds to develop this liquidity in the underlying market. But there are other examples where we act as a partner to the Commission. So you have probably heard about the aspiration for a higher strategic autonomy, for less reliance on third countries since Brexit. And there is a complete legislation now out there which targets this. And what we have done from a Eurex perspective is we have supported and flanked that with market-driven solutions to make sure that there are alternatives for products like euro interest rate swaps or Euribor futures to be done within the EU. And that is how we partner also in this regard with the EU Commission. They have a political and regulatory ambition, and we help them to realize that via a market-driven approach.
And well, finally, Commissioner Hahn was in his speech referring to become a sovereign-style issuer. What does that mean?
Well, today the EU Commission is regarded as a supranational issuer. And of course, they are the fifth largest issuer within the EU after Germany, France, Italy, and Spain. And they want to be regarded as a quasi-government issuer, which of course reduces the attractivity of the bonds and increases the liquidity and reduces, very important, the funding costs for these instruments. And this is where you need the bond issuance, the functioning repo market, and the derivative market, and then you have all ingredients you need in order to be regarded as a government bond type issuer.
Okay, thank you very much for these great insights. And we have seen the guests have arrived above the DAX chart for their final photo to celebrate this Bell event here on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. And this also marks the end of today's live stream. And I thank all viewers for watching this live stream. I thank you, Matthias Graulich, for taking the time, giving us these insights here. And I thank all viewers for watching us. I wish everyone a good evening and goodbye.